Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome back to another day with your teachers in first grade. So we're going to start our day with our true or false number talk. And here we have the equation 50 minus 20 is the same as 70 minus 40. So we're going to use some think time to figure out what strategy we can use to decide whether or not this equation is true or false. And remember, true means that the equation is correct. False means that the equation is incorrect. So take a minute right now to think about, what strategy can I use? And then start using that strategy to figure out whether or not this equation is true or false. My teachers are working so hard right now, and they are going to give me a thumbs up when they're ready. And when you are ready, you can play the video because I know you're going to pause the video to give yourself a lot more think time and work time. And it's great to work alongside us in the video because then you can compare your ideas or your strategies with our ideas and our strategies, and you can decide whether or not you did something similar or you did something different. And different doesn't mean bad, sorry. Different is always great. So teachers, when you're ready, just show me a thumbs up. Ooh, already, okay. I knew I was talking for a while. Okay, Miss Rosales, let's start with you. What strategy did you use to figure out if this equation is true or false?
Boys and girls. Shameless. The number line.
Number line. We love the number line. Let me use a nice color for you. What color would you like?
I'm a blue fan.
Blue. All right. Blue, here we go. Ms. Rosales' strategy. So she did the number line. Go ahead and tell us about your strategy, Ms. Rosales.
So you'll notice that I have two number lines, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to solve the first part, which is 50 minus 20, and then compare it to the second part, which is 70 minus 40.
Okay.
So looking at this top one, just the top alone, 50 take away 20, or 50 minus 20, I drew the number line. And because I know I was subtracting, I know that I was going to jump backwards this way. I decomposed my 20 to two tens, and you can see me do 10, 20. So I knew that there were two hops there of 10. And now I counted back, or bunny hop back, by tens, 50, 40, 30. But that was just one part. Then I had to find out, well, what was the value of this? What was my outcome here? 70 take away 40. So again, I drew another number line. I started at 70, and then I jumped by tens, four tens right here. And I went 10, 20, 30, 40. And now I bunny hopped backwards by 10. 70 became 60, became 50, 40, and now 30. So I realized that the first part of the equation had a value of 30, and the second part of the equation had also a value of 30, and so the statement is true.
I love how you clearly explain that, and I want to make sure that I am writing it exactly how you have it there so that we can show all of our friends what our expectation is when showing our work, our math work. So then you wrote the number sentence on top, 70 minus 40 equals 30. And you decompose the 40 into 4 tens. Remember that 40 is made up of 4 tens. So that's why we were able to jump back 4 times, 10 jumps, but 4 times 10, right? All right. And then this answer is also 30. So Ms. Rosales believes that the equation or the number sentence is true. All right, let's see if someone else has a different idea or if they agree with Ms. Rosales. Let's go with Ms. T. What strategy did you use to figure out if this equation is true or false?
So I used my tens in one strategy, but actually it's just a 10 strategy because there's no ones in here. So I did 50 minus 20 equals 70 minus 40. And so I drew my 5 tens. And because it's subtraction, I crossed out 2 tens because I know 20 is 2 tens. And then I circled what I had left over, which was 3 tens here. And then on this side, I had 7 tens, and then I crossed out 4 tens because 40 is 4 tens, and I was left with 3 tens here. So I knew that if I had 3 tens on this side and 3 tens on this side, that means they're both the same, which means that this equation is true.
And I like how you circled the answers that are right so that we can, the answer you have left. So we can clearly see we have 30 on this side. So thank you for that visualization. And then let me do the last part. So you did 70, 7 tens make 70, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and then you crossed out 3 because it says subtracting 3, and when we subtract, we're taking away. So 1, 2, 3, and then what we have left, oh, wait.
It's minus 40.
Oh, there we go. That's why I messed up.
It's okay.
We need to make sure that we're paying attention to the equation, Missy Kimoch.
It's okay, Miss Kimoch. I got worried because I was like, oh no, did I do it wrong?
Well, that's why it's really good that we are all here working together so that we can help each other when we make mistakes.
And I also want to mention, since we have some time, a lot of my students have been writing it this way when they're subtracting their tens. They're doing it where they write the tens and they write down how many they're subtracting, which is a good visual, but I need you to show me what you're actually taking away, right? I already know 20 is 2 tens, but you crossing it out is actually more helpful for us to understand what you're doing with your tens. So please make sure that you're crossing them out instead of writing it this way.
Yes, I agree, because it really shows what we are doing, and we need to be clear when we're talking about math so that other mathematicians, when they see our work, they know exactly what we do. Some of my friends have actually been erasing those, like, so instead of crossing it out, they'll erase the tens, and that doesn't really show me what they did. I know what they did because I can understand. But when someone else doesn't understand and they're trying to figure out what to do next, they might get confused. All right. Thank you, Ms. T. And you found out that the answer was
30 equals 30, or 3 tens equals 3 tens.
Right. So 3 tens. Ooh, I love how you said that. So 30 equals 30. 30 is the same as 30, or 3 tens is equal to 3 tens. And so the equation, you would say, is?
The equation is
True or false?
True. I was like,
Sorry. True. We have another friend who believes that the equation is true. All right. Last but not least, our teacher, Ms. Hernandez. What strategy did you come up with?
So I decided to do some mental math, which is a way of doing the counting in my head. And I found that the equation on both sides do equal the same. So this is how I was thinking. So I did the first part, which says 50 minus 20. And I noticed that in thinking of place value, there are no ones. So 0 minus the 0 is 0. It's the same. But in looking at the tens, I have 5 tens and I have 2 tens. And I really have to pay attention to that minus sign. So 5 tens minus 2 tens is 3 tens. So my answer here is 30. And then on this side, I have 70 minus 40. So again, there are no ones. So 0 minus 0 means there's no ones. 7 tens minus the 4 tens gave me 3 tens, which gives me also 30. So in looking at both parts, I have 30 on each side. And 30 equals 30. They have the same value. So yes, the whole number sentence on both sides is true. 30 equals 30.
And that made me think of actually writing it horizontally, because that might, vertically, because that might help us really visualize that and what you did, Ms. Hernandez. So like if we were to do it like this, 50 minus 20, our friends can clearly see just what we did here, that we drop down 0 minus 0 is 0, and then 5 minus 2 is 3, right? So because Ms. Hernandez really was able to understand that when it was horizontally, but if you need that extra support and you want to write it vertically, you can always manipulate the equation to either write it horizontally or vertically. Whatever you think might be helpful for you to see it. That's like another tool to use. So on this side, on 70, it would be 70 minus 40. And then we can see that again too. we can see that the ones place is still going to be 0 because 0 minus 0 is 0. And then 7 minus 4 is equal to 3. So Miss Hernandez got 30 is equal to 30. And she says that the equation is true.
Ooh.
So there you have it. We have 3 very smart, brilliant teachers who use their strategies to figure out that this equation is true. But just because we know it's true doesn't mean that we're done figuring out different strategies to solve it. We can have a million other strategies to figure out the same answer. So it's really fun to figure out, to see all of the different strategies. So if you did something different than we did, please take a picture of your work and post it on your Seesaw so that we can see it and we can give you feedback, or we can show it to everyone else on our YouTube channel. So we're excited to hear more about everything that you're doing. Have fun and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Don't forget to subscribe.